Okay. Okay. Today is Wednesday. It is 12:11 a.m. I thought about see, um, trading has taught me so much about my personality, the conclusions that I have about everything. One in particular has intrigued me, which is this. Whereas before I had no clue, but now I do understand it. Okay. And so when I trade and I lose and make a mistake, uh, I'm so harsh on myself. I am so hard on myself, right? I become extremely overly critical of myself when I make a mistake in trading, right? Because I'm expecting that I'm at a point where I shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't be making that kind of mistake, but I do make it, okay? And so it does happen. And so like the past 1 year recently, just looking at things. One in particular is like I would like size big and I would make a trade without even thinking about it. And so I'm making that mistake. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll like be so self-absorbed, okay, self-critical of myself that I would be very angry with myself, okay. And so then recently I thought to myself, okay, so why am I angry at myself? If I am prepared and I know how to trade, then it's going to be reflected in my trading results. But if I'm not prepared, okay, it's whether I'm prepared or not, okay, whether I'm ready or not. If I'm ready, and if I'm ready, that means that I know how to trade. That's pure and simple. That's what it means. If I'm ready, I know how to trade. And so the results will reflect it. But if I'm not ready, then whatever I do, something's going to happen and it's going to turn into a mistake because I should have known, I knew about it, but I was unable to implement it. But the reality is, even if I know it and I'm not able to implement it, it is because I wasn't ready. So the critical thinking that I need to have before becoming overly critical of myself is knowing that whatever the result is, if the result is positive, then I'm prepared to receive it because I'm ready. I'm prepared. I'm ready. But if I'm not ready, whatever the result is because I was not ready, and I am not ready, right? So I was at this gas station. I was at this gas station at Costco, and I was on the left side, and my gas tank is on the left side, and so I had to pull all the way over. But when I was about to, but when I was about to put in the nozzle in, one of the guys who works there, he comes over and says, "You're not ready. Okay, you're not ready. Okay, you're not ready. Okay, nobody's ready. Okay, nobody." So then I thought to myself, nobody is ready. Okay, I had kids when I wasn't ready. Okay, if I had waited until I was ready to have kids, I would never have kids. Okay, I would never have kids, but I would never be ready. I'm 57 years old right now. I had two kids and I still don't know what's going on, right? I was never ready. I was never ready. Okay? Even when I was working as an engineer, I was never ready. That's why I got fired. I was never ready. Okay? But if I started working there when I was ready, I graduated from college, all right, but I was never ready. Okay? But if I waited until I was like well ready, chances are, I would never get anything done. Okay? Nobody's ready, especially me. I do things without being ready. Okay? And so I need to remind myself. I need to remind myself when I am ready. When I am ready, okay? When I am ready, trades will fall into place. But if I am not ready, then trades will not, it'll work sometimes, but in general, it will not work. It's just pure and simple. And there's that I don't need to, so there's no need for me to be overcritical of myself. Okay? But I become really critical of myself even though I'm not ready. So it's like employing somebody. Okay? It's like hiring somebody to do a work as a manager. I'm saying, hey, could you do this work? And if the person doesn't do the work, then me screaming at the person won't do anything, okay? Because the person is not ready, okay? So when the person is ready, the person is going to do the work. But if the person is not ready to do the work, the person is not going to do the work. As simple as that, this. So I thought about that. I thought about that. I thought about this, like, because I was like, see, when I lose like 4.5% in a day, I'm like, I'm looking, I'm going, why did you do that, Keith? Why? Why did you do that? So I was trying to figure this out. Why did you do that? Okay, I was up 1.5, roughly about 1.5% that day, and I was at 4% overall, and I only needed 4%. Why did I risk max at that point? Why? There was no need to do it. Okay, because I've already achieved my objective of getting 1.5%, and there was no need for me to there was no need to clicking it, but something was amiss. Something happened that caused me to do that, which means that I was not prepared. I was not ready. I was not ready to reap the rewards of the result. Okay, I was not ready to do that. Okay, but if I was ready, then I'll be ready, and there's no need for me to be upset about whatever the outcome is, right? It's pure and simple. If I am ready, if my trading is profitable, it is profitable. If it's not profitable, it's not, because that means there's something that I need to work on. Okay, and there's no need for me to be upset about whatever it is, because so I heard a while back. I heard this about a while back. Say, okay, so because this is psychology, and it's a self development in trading, and so what happens is, because I am me, what I would do is I'll become overly critical of myself, and I explode to myself because I'm frustrated with myself. Because when I'm not ready, I get very, very frustrated with myself. Okay? Sometimes I'll smack my head going, why did you do that, Key? Why? Okay, why? But I have to look at it. So somebody was, I saw it on YouTube, and somebody was talking about about yourself while you're developing into a trader, is that you have to treat yourself like an employee. Okay, because you have to abide by all the laws and regulations about employing someone, and you have to show respect for the person that you've hired, that you're managing. Okay, you can't be like slapping your employee and things like that, right? And so the reason why, now it took me 5 years it took me many years to figure out what that meant, is that if I am ready, okay, if I am ready, I'm gonna know how to. If I'm ready, everything will click together. Okay. If I am ready, but if I'm not ready, then whatever happens, it's not gonna happen. Okay. Because I'm not ready. There's no need to be frustrated. If I have some frustration, it means that I need to work on something to prepare myself to be able to make money from the market. It's just that it just means that I wasn't ready. Okay, so it took me a while to understand. So the slapping of the forehead and things like that, going dough and things like that, I do that less often now because I know, and because of my experience, I make less mistakes, which is what's happening. But generally speaking, what's happened? See, this is me talking out of my, like, I haven't slept much at all. I haven't slept much at all. I mean, it's. I have to be very honest here. It's not easy to function with being like sleep deprived. I'll tell you what, it's very, very difficult. But I have to do it. Okay, I have to. What other option is there? Okay, so 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 I need to remind myself that when I'm consistent, I am consistent. But if I'm not consistent, for whatever reason it is, I'm not consistent. Okay? The reason that I'm not consistent is because I'm not consistent. Okay, it's simple. And when I make mistakes, it's because I'm not ready. Okay, so being upset with myself is self-defeating. Okay, I just need to be aware that I have to work on something, right? There's no need for me to be like, there's no need for me to be overly critical of myself. Okay, I just need to make sure make note of what I need to do, and then take action. Okay, that's what I need to do. There's no need to be overly critical. Ah, man, I'm tired. I'm really, really tired. But the European market opened for like 22 minutes now. Okay.